What's up, YouTube? This is Zach from Team Brock here, bringing you a new deck profile. This is something I've been having a lot of fun with. As you can see, it's Psyframes for the new format. So 3 driver, he's the guy you bring out with all of your monsters. You need to play 3. Drawing him sucks, but you need to have them all in case they get banished. You don't have your resources to get them back. For the frame gears, 3 alpha. This is the guy you get to special from your hand with the driver if your opponent normals or specials, and then you search. So this is the only one that doesn't negate or destroy anything, but he allows you to search out your traps and your other monsters. 3 beta. He's your response to attacks. When your opponent attacks, you special him in the driver from your hand, destroy the monster, negate the attack, and the battle phase. And if you have the field, you can proceed to synchro. So, really good. 3 delta, he's your response to spell cards, and he's really good because he's level 2, which allows you to go into your omegas with the driver. It's not as good against some matchups as others, but with pendulums, it's just a good response to have. And then 3 gamma, arguably the best one. He's your response to monster effects. Bring him out with the driver, negate and destroy any monster effect. And then synchro into an omega. It's just stupid good. For the support monsters, 3 card car. This is your best play during your turn. You want to get to this so you can tribute him, get him off the field, and then draw into your hand traps. Sometimes you don't have the best draws off this, so it's good to pair this up with a beta or a trap to protect yourself, but typically you can draw into frame gears and make synchros during your opponent's turn. And then 2 wind up rabbit. I was playing 3, but it just got way too cloggy. I kept drawing this off my card car, and it does not help you if that happens, because your turn just ends. So 2 wind up rabbit, because you still need something to poke with. For the spells, 3 Psy-Frame circuit with 1 tech chicken game and 3 terraforming. This seems like overkill, and sometimes it can be, but it's just essential to have your circuit. You need this card to make your advantage, because you can negate things all day and night, but if you don't net any advantage off of it, like profiting with a synchro, it's just not even worth it. So you have to play ways to get to this. 3 psychic field zone. This is your response if they if you start negating things but you don't have the field spell. You can return your banished psychics back to the graveyard in synchro. So it gives you a synchro as well as putting your driver back in your graveyard for your negations. 3 duality. This is just for during your turn. You can fish for your card car and your betas because you don't ever special summon during your turn. It's just really good to have. This only conflicts with Psychic Field Zone if you were to use this during your turn, but 3 pod duality is still amazing. 2 MST, just because I like main decking these at the moment, just for pendulums. I know Wavering Eyes is a thing, but this just being a chainable response to any back row, and pendulums are just really good. 1 path, because adding back your banished psychics is good if you have to get to your banished drivers, or if you have the trap and you want to just get more fuel for it from your banished zone. For the traps, 3 overload, because this is just stupid good. Banishing things face down every turn and then being able to get them back with your psychic path or field zone or omega returning them. There's just so many ways to get your banished cards back. And this is Rhoda for the entire deck if it's in the graveyard. And then 1 warning, just because warning is too good to play. Negating mass pendulum summons is just too good. For the extra, 2 Omega. He's like the best card in the game right now, meta-defining card. All kinds of decks are abusing him. Anything that can make level 8s, like with Luster or Infernoids, everything is making this card just because it's so good to loop cards out of your opponent's hand. And this deck does it very well because obviously it's archetype specific. So making this card is really easy in this deck. For the other 8s, the Stardust Brothers. Spark is better in game 2 and 3 because I side a ton of Floodgates. So you typically go for the Stardust because it can negate things like Wavering Eyes and just pesky destruction effects that you can't really get around otherwise. 1 Scarlight because board nuking, amazing, burn damage, doesn't target. 1 Thought Ruler, probably mostly because he's a Psychic. So he's another option to make off of your Field Zone because Field Zone you have to make Psychics in defense mode. So Thought Ruler, I don't think I've ever made him, but I feel like he could come up at some point. For the 7s, 2 Zeta. You don't need 3, he puts himself back like Omega does, so 2 is good. He's good to make off your Field Zone too if your opponent has a monster that you can use the effect on, but his effect is just kind of specific. Your opponent needs to have a face-up special summon monster in attack mode, so it's not always good. But you can't expect him to be as good as Omega. For the other 7s, the Black Rose Brothers. Moonlight isn't as good anymore with Shadowall's gone, Necroz's gone, but it is still decent against some things, and Black Rose is just amazing. Nuking during your opponent's turn is really good. 1 Clear Wing, same thing as Moonlight, not as good, still amazing. 1 Yazzie, can't be targeted. Michael, because more banishing, as if you couldn't banish stuff enough. More banishing is always good. 1 Wyvern, in case you have more life points. And Ancient Fairy, which is incredible because you play a ton of field spells. So that was my Psy-Frame deck. Let me know what you guys think, if you'd change anything. I think the build's pretty good the way it is, but if you have any secret techs, please let me know. This is Team Brock signing out.